Hello everyone, I am Saf and welcome back to my channel. As in our day-to-day life, we always do some small mistake and we learn from it and avoid future mistake. Same thing happen in development. We wrote code but a small gap or bug cause breakdown of your program and sometimes it is quite costly in development. That's what testing come into play. In today's session, we will walk you through the unit testing and its related approach and also give you a hands-on experience of available testing tools in Python, which is quite helpful in development of data science related aspect. Let first understand what is unit testing. Most of you are know about unit testing. Unit testing is a software testing method where we test unit or the individual component of software by providing all possible scenarios and passing the different test cases. You can resemble this as like you wrote a code in any coding platform where you wrote code and there are multiple test cases are there. When all the test cases are passed, then your program is run successfully. If any of the test cases is fail, then your program is missing something. This is a type of unit testing. Unit testing is very popular while the development of data science related project. But sometimes developer first write unit test and then write code. This approach is called test driven development, in short TDD. So TDD involve three activities like coding, testing and refactoring. Let's understand this in little bit details. In this approach, first we write single unit test, which is an aspect of program or a part of program. Run the test which should fail as the program lack that features. Now to just pass the test, we write only that enough amount of code and we repeat this process and refactor the code until unless it conform the criteria of our requirement. TDD is very helpful when code is inherently complex. We don't go deep to this as there is lot more in it. Unit testing is similar to like that in that it allows developer to modify code without affecting the functionality of other unit or product as a whole. Now the question is, writing unit tests is very important. Well, developer write unit tests for their code to make sure that code work correctly to achieve a quality product in development. Apart from that, it also help in debugging process at the development stage. It also allows the chances of code refactoring and design improvement. It also give a possibility to add changes in product without affecting the present functionality. There is various tools in Python for testing like unit test, dog test, Pytest. In this session, I walk you through the one of the most important tools of unit testing, that is Pytest. So the question is, why Pytest? Even if it is not come with Python built-in package. Well, first and most important thing Pytest give is flexibility to write and run unit test in less piece of code. Apart from unit test where we have to define the class, use their class assertion statement, and there is lot more. Whereas in Pytest, you just need to define a method and use the pre-built assertion statement of Python, and your test is ready. Pytest also give a option to run test parallelly by multi-process, so it will reduce your execution time. So if you are using any other test suites, you can easily take the full leverage of Pytest for existing unit test suites, and it is also very similar to unit test. So switchability is quite easy. I hope you get till yet. Let quick handy with writing unit test using Pytest. Writing code in Pytest is very easy, but you need to aware of ways of writing unit test in Pytest. First thing is always remember that the name of file start with test underscore whatsoever the file name dot py, unless Pytest not be able to detect test file. Second is you have to write the test in the form of methods, and method name must be start with initial of test underscore function name or test function name. Let's move to the editor. Let's create our test file with file name test underscore demo. Now first import pytest. Let define a test method with name test square. Here we use Python inbuilt assertion statement to check the condition. Now define the main statement. To run the test in Pytest, you need to type Pytest and then after the file name .py. You also use only Pytest to run the test, but it run all the test in your directory in one go. Here you see our test case is run and it passed. You see a dot after file name which indicate test passed success. If it fail, instead of dot there is F indicate fail. We wrote test square method in Pytest in very less piece of code. Now to write same test in unit test, you need to define the class and then define the method, and also you need to use unit test class assertion statements, which is quite lengthy to write the test cases. You can also use multi assertion statement in one test method to test multiple checks. Let's create another test file. Put name demo underscore test. Define method in some other way like test add without underscore. Write some sample to run the test. Now run the test as we ran earlier. Here you see it runs successfully. You can also put some comment in assertion statement which help in understanding any cause of error, or give him a sub message. there will be a situation where we don't want to execute a test case. For that, Pytest also have option where we can skip the test or just fail the test. You just need to define a decorator pytest.mark.skip. It will skip the test while executing. Here you see it skip the test, and instead of dot or f it show s, means test skipped. There is also a decorator for Xfail. The Xfailed test will be executed, but it will not be counted as a part of failed or pass. There will be no trace back displayed if the test fail. So we can Xfail test by using decorator pytest mark.xfail. As the sum is 28, so it definitely fail. As we define decorator as Xfailed, so it come in the category of Xfailed if it fail, and it show in the form of small x, which mean Xfailed. There is also a scenario where Xfailed test pass, but it not come in the category of passed, as we define Xfailed as a decorator. So it come in the category of X passed, which are indicated with capital X. There is also a feature in Pytest where we use Pytest parameterize. The purpose of parameterizing a test is to run a test against multiple set of arguments. We can do this by initializing a decorator Pytest mark parameterize and then define the argument and pass the input and output value, and Pytest run that method for each set of arguments. Here you see it run test where one is passed and other is failed as we define according to it. Now let's change the value and run test again. Well, it passed. Pytest also come with fixture option. Fixture are used when we want to run some code before every test method. So instead of repeating the same code in every test, we define fixtures. It is basically provide input data to your unit to run the test. Define the code. On the code, put decorator pytest fixture to declare that part as a fixture. Now we can use that piece of code in our test without running it multiple times. It ran successfully and it passed. Here you clearly see that after the file name, it defines the status of each test case of that file. Pytest also come with various flags. First one is K flag, which allow you to filter which test to run by matching their name against a keyword expression. You can run like Pytest K flag initial of method name that you want to run. Here you see it run only test with method name test add and rest are deselected. Another flag is verbose, which increase the verbosity level and give detailed output of your test. Pytest also give a option to run test parallelly. To run test parallelly, we need to install Pytest plugin. After that, just write Pytest n flag and the number of worker you want to assign to run the test parallelly. As we pass 3, so it create 3 worker and run test parallelly. Another flag is X, which stop the test run just after the first failure it encounter. Pytest also give you a option to generate a report of your test. You just need to install Pytest HTML. Type now. Let's generate a report. Here you see on the left side report is generated. Download it and open it. Here you see it generate the overall detailed report of your test in HTML format where you filter out the result, check the errors, error message and other details as well. Writing test even more necessary if you are deploying code weekly or daily basis. It start to become impossible to retest every flow manually before you release your new code. However, with proper unit test coverage and ideally some other high level function test hooked up to CI/CD pipeline, you can still maintain quality while shipping code on a daily basis. I hope from this video you got better understanding about unit testing using Pytest, and I hope everything is clear to you. But if in case you face any kind of difficulty in understanding any part of this topic, please leave a comment below and I will try to help you with that. That's all from my side for this video. I hope you like the video, so don't forget to like the video, and if you haven't subscribed my channel yet, do subscribe my channel and press bell icon to never miss an update about our videos. Till then, happy learning.